Hello, welcome to the Chessboxing podcast. This week we've got a very special guest. You will know as the MC for some of our events. It's Kate Gilbert. Say hello, Kate.
Hello, thank you for having me. It's nice to be invited.
Yeah, how are you, Kate?
I'm very well, actually, yes.
Jolly good. So you're I think it's best described you as a triple threat. Is that right?
Oh, I love that, yeah, but in what way?
Well, you're the Chessboxing MC.
Yes, that's true, yes.
You also run our performance workshops, which I hope we'll get into in a bit.
Yes.
And
what's the third one?
The third one is you do some coaching, don't you, for public speaking?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, is that fair to say?
That's fair to say. I'm an actor as well. So
oh, you're quadruple threat.
Quadruple threat, let's do that, yeah, I like that.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay, fantastic. So yeah, I thought we might just start with the performance workshop, because I don't think a lot of people will know that we even do it. So it's really behind the curtain stuff, isn't it?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So how long have you been involved in the performance workshop, and what is it?
I don't know how long I've been involved. Has it been 4 years?
It's been some time,
It feels like 4 or 5 years, maybe.
Did we start before the pandemic?
Yes, I think we did.
I think we did, yeah.
Because first of all, you invited me on as assistant producer on the shows.
Yeah.
And I remember watching one of the first shows, and I was like,
this performance is terrible.
I think the crowd could be enjoying it more than they were.
I find that hard to believe, Kate. The Chessboxing crowd could be enjoying it more.
I know that sounds harsh, but I just felt like if the performers were a little bit more comfortable with their entrances and being on the centre of attention, the audience would actually relax a bit more as well, and then really get in it. And I kind of thought what was missing was people really getting behind the fighters more. So that's kind of what we came together to talk about, didn't we? How we could make that.
It's interesting you're talking about that, actually, because I just recently concluded an interview with Harry Winteringham, who's doing a film about chessboxing.
Yes, yeah.
He's just won a Kodak Short Film Fund Award.
Brilliant.
But he was saying that one of the things he likes about chessboxing, but also some of the other topics that he films, is when people are really relaxed and confident, and actually that really affects the crowd. Like if they see you being relaxed and confident, then they become relaxed, and what they really want is not care about anything. That's what people are looking for when they come out.
It's escapism as well, isn't it? You know, so that's what I was kind of seeing, that we could create a little bit more of that for the audience to get behind the fighters even more. And that, for me, I was thinking about personas for the fighters, because they're not natural. Well, some of them are natural performers, actually, but generally they're people who work in finance, in IT, all kind of other areas other than any kind of performance. And so what we did was we decided, or put it to you, I said, can I do a performance workshop with your boxers? And you were very generous to allow me to do that, because we didn't know how it was going to go.
Yeah, so a lot of the people that fight on our shows are from a chess background.
Yes.
So that although often they can be outward looking for a chess player, but I've recently been to a couple of chess conferences. I went to the Isle of Wight a couple of weeks ago, and it's a very specific type of person that plays chess to a high level. And they can be quite introverted. They're usually very nice.
Usually incredibly clever. Very
clever, very introverted. Not necessarily the kind of person you'd expect to get up and stand in front of hundreds of people in a morph suit, or wearing a cape, for example.
Yeah. And I think the first performance workshop we did, you and I talked about it before as well. We're kind of like, what if we can get them to kind of incorporate a bit of who they are in their everyday lives into their stage personality or persona. And so I remember going around the group and saying, well, so what do you do? And it's like, oh, well, I work in accounts, and I'm a bricklayer, and things like that. And we had the wonderful one with the first group that we ever did with John the Brick.
Yes, John the Brick, if you're out there, shout out.
Yeah, and he was fabulous. He was one of my favourite ones, I think, because we decided that we were going to get some foam bricks.
Yeah.
And that
they're very realistic foam bricks, though. Far too realistic. There were people ducking.
There were. And so we had a whole motif that we created for him, where he was going to come on stage with a shovel of bricks.
With his hod, yeah.
With his hod, that was it, and then start throwing the bricks into the crowd.
Yeah.
But but it was fun, and I think the audience actually really enjoyed that. It really kind of brought the energy to the room.
Yeah, he became crowd favourite, and I think at the end of the show he was signing the rubber bricks for people. So if you got
he lost a lot of bricks that night.
He did lose a lot of bricks. If you got one of John the Bricks signed, well done.
Yeah, it's worth a lot now.
It is worth a lot. Yeah. So what other memorable performances? Because you've been doing it a while now, so there's a few that are in my mind. But can you pick out another couple of performances that you really liked?
Yeah, definitely. I remember. I mean, I will say as well, what really surprised me in a really good way especially when we did that first workshop, was I was kind of thinking everyone was going to be quite shy and held back and not up for it. I mean, some of the exercise I did in the workshop were quite risky. So
just run through roughly what the workshop is. What do you actually do? So we get together, and then what happens?
So we get together. We kind of inquire into what's your job? What can we put into this persona? Have you got any ideas of how you might like that ring walk to look?
So you're looking for an alternate ego.
An alter ego type of character, And they all came up with something, or most of them did. And then we look at how do you enter a space with more presence? How do you change your body language to really get the attention of the crowd? And that's with the pace that you walk in, any gestures. So we do sort of gesture movements, and we also do animal training. So there was I think in most of the workshops I say to people, okay, if you were an animal, or your character, your persona was an animal, what would it be? And then I have them walk around the space in the animal, and that's the kind of thing where I thought they're going to tear their hair out. They're going to be so embarrassed, but they really threw themselves into it.
Yeah, so I think it forces you to accept that embarrassment and just do it anyway. And then if you're acting like an animal, acting like your alter ego is easy, because that's either as embarrassing or less embarrassing than acting like an animal.
It's about finding the weight of the animal, the movement, the quick, the fast, the slow, the prowl of the animal as well, and incorporating that into your own walk as you go out onto the stage, and just having that as a focus.
I tell you, who's very good at that is Shayan Dolab. His entrances are very wakeful.
You stole that one from me. That was going to be my favourite.
Okay.
That was my answer to your last question. Okay. Shayan was pretty spectacular, I think, and he really shined in the performance workshops as well. Like he's also a dancer, isn't he? So he likes.
That's true.
He quite likes being centre of attention.
That's true. He does.
And he really ran with it.
Yeah.
And then he said, "Right, I'm going to have a cape. I'm going to come in like the king of Persia,
Shah,
wasn't it? I think that's what it was. And not just that, but I'm going to bring in a whole harem of women to dance alongside me." And I was like, oh my God, someone's taken it too far. But he did, and it was brilliant. That is one of my favourite performances of all time, and the girls came in, they looked fab. They did a really nice dance around him.
Is there anyone you've seen really transition from somebody who's very, very inward looking to completely opposite when they actually go on stage?
Yeah, so I think we had Anthony, Toto the robot, as he's now known in the chessboxing world. I think maybe internationally even.
Yeah. Global player.
Yeah, and he came in and he was like, I've got this idea that I want to wear a robot costume, and I think even you and me were like behind the scenes going, do you think this is a good idea? What's this going to be like? And then he really embraced it, and I think for him it's like putting on a mask allowed him to really be so confident on the stage, and he really took the stage. He'd done this whole dance. He took his time with the dance. He really enjoyed it, and then he got himself to the ring as in that robot costume.
And then what happened?
And then I think he got knocked out.
He did get knocked out.
It was really awful to watch. I did feel bad after that.
Something that is there anything more you'd like to say about the performance workshop? Because it is something that I think is quite interesting, and it isn't necessarily obvious to anyone watching the show or even coming to training. Yeah,
it's also about exploring the physicality of that entrance and building their confidence as well. So we also do little games in there about status games and raising your confidence level from, I don't know, 6 to 10, going up the levels and seeing what that would feel like, what that would look like. So they get to practice it before they do it in front of a live audience, because just going from, you know, everyday sort of level 5, 6 or 7 of confidence to having to go onto stage and being even bigger for the first time without having practiced that before is really, really hard. So it's a good space to practice that. And also we work with the pairs, because they come in pairs. I mean, they fight obviously in pairs, and I wanted to add a little bit of drama to that as well where we could. So we often get them working in the pairs that they're going to fight in, and we get them in the ring and we get them doing kind of little spats.
So eye contact.
It out. Yeah, eye contact, and sort of playing around the ring a little bit with each other to see who's got the status in the ring, and little things they could do just to add a bit of drama and a bit of tension to their performance when they get out there.
I think one of my favourites actually, which I didn't expect, because it wasn't particularly subtle. Not necessarily. I'm not saying that, you know, ring entrances need to be or should be subtle, but Razzle Dazzle. Do you remember Russell Alam's?
Yes. Did he come in as James Bond?
He came in as James Bond. All he did was he wore a white tuxedo to the James Bond theme song.
Yeah.
But his poise was just fantastic.
He was brilliant, because he had the walk down to a T. He was measured. He was calm. You know, and it's hard when you get out on stage and you've got 300 people. How many 300 people?
Actually, I'm glad you brought that up. We've got 650 people.
Oh my
watching.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a lot of people, and anyone is going to have the adrenaline rushing through their bodies. So for Russell to be so calm when he went out there is really, really impressive. You know, and I think he did that because he really got into the mindset of it. He practiced it. He was excited about doing it, and he was great. And the crowd loved it.
Yeah. I'd like to talk a little bit about your role as Master of Ceremonies. So it's a central role in any event, and I'd like to talk a little bit about how you put that together. But also, one question I'd like to know, a lot of people have been asking, what is your relationship with the Berserker? There seems to be some sort of connection there. Oh my God,
do people think me and the Berserker are having some kind of affair?
No,
I didn't know that.
There's just some sort of, I don't know, there's clearly like an understanding between you two that goes deeper than simply, wearing furs and body paint.
Well, we may need to explain the Berserker. Do we need to explain the Berserker?
Go on, explain the Berserker,
yeah. Well, initially you had a ring girl, didn't you? And I remember when I joined, there was a ring girl, and I kind of felt, is this a bit dated now? I'm sure some people in the...
I think it would have been dated maybe 30 years ago.
We weren't keen on it either way, so we were like...
Well, don't let... Tim, if you're listening, you might want to skip over this bit.
And Tim likes it. Okay, anyway. So we were looking at what else could we replace the ring girl with that can still do the same job and be sexy. So I think you came up with the idea of the Berserker, which is also a chess piece. Is it a chess
piece? So when chess came through Scandinavia, it came down with the Vikings basically, and instead of the rook, which is a castle, it's a little castle. They had a Berserker, which is a type of crack vanguard troop that runs into battle naked, just wearing furs. So we decided that this was the chess piece that linked, obviously, chess as a chess piece and combat. So that's why we decided to go with that as our mascot. Yeah,
so I do feel very close to the Berserker character for the reason that I feel like I was very involved in the creation of the Berserker, and Richard, who plays it so well and completely throws himself into that character.
Yeah. He was born to play that role.
He was born for it, and he came to me and he's like, right, I'm ready, we're doing the performance workshop. And I remember we talked first of all about the backstory of the character, what his motivation was. We kind of took all my acting background and directing, and we really went quite in depth about who this character was, what do they eat, and we kind of came up with mushrooms, magic mushrooms, which has snuck its way into the show when he gives out the sweeties, mushroom shaped sweets, and throws them into the crowd and things like that. And I was so impressed with Richard because he really took on the character, and
almost method, wasn't it?
It was pretty method, and he is method. Actually, it's almost like as soon as he turns up to the venue, he's kind of already in.
He loves being painted as well.
He loves it.
Before the show, he just sits down and people just come up and paint him.
I think people enjoy painting him.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
I think. But also he is actually quite an exhibitionist, and it works really well with the role. And I think has he got like a little thong or chest thong or something?
Yes, so he has a tiny. I think you could call them budgie smugglers.
I think you could call them that.
Chess-related budgie smugglers.
Yeah, and throughout the show, he strips down, doesn't he? Mm-hmm. After each round, he strips down, and
he gets hot. The poor guy. He's busy.
He is busy. He is busy. He's very popular.
He's very popular. Yeah.
But I think when he first did that, I thought, oh my God, is he really going to do that? And he was totally up for it. I had nothing to do with that. I have to say that was all him. I was like, wow.
So what's it like being an MC? Because obviously I know obviously you do this professionally, so you're teaching people how to stand up and speak to large crowds.
Yeah.
But obviously you've got to do it yourself. You've got to get in the ring. Often you'll start with a song, and then you've got to stitch the whole thing together and make sure that everybody understands what's going on. Yeah. What are the key things that you think you bring to the role, and what do you look for in a good show when it comes down to the MC performance? Yeah,
I think first of all it's energy. So I need to prepare myself so that my energy is really good when I get into the ring and really strong. And the second biggest thing I really felt was so important was to get the crowd going. So it really was and we were looking at what are the things that they can get involved in. You know, the shouting of the chess, and the berserker as well, the thunderclap that we do at the beginning. We teach everyone the thunderclap that the berserker demonstrates, and then every time he goes on, the audience join in and do it as well. And I think that's really nice, setting up those moments that would bring the audience together all the way through the show. Yeah. So I think those are the main things, making sure everybody understands what it is. Yeah. Everyone feels welcome.
Well, often there's people who've never seen chessboxing before. it's very rare. You don't have a lot of people that haven't even heard of it sometimes. Yeah. And I think the other thing as well is that I like the idea that it is a show. It's not just, rock up, have some beers or whatever you drink, and then watch some chess and some fighting. It's like, let's try and make this into a show, which is why we sometimes add the singing at the beginning as well. Okay. And what about the commentary team? Because you often have a little chat with them. What we've got, you'll be pleased to hear that we've got Chris and Matt back together.
Oh, yay! For the next show. Back together.
So that's good. And we've also got Fiona, who was good enough to commentate at the last show. Yeah. So we've got a really stellar lineup in terms of commentary, and there'll probably be one or two, if we can manage it, there'll be one or two sort of cameos perhaps as well.
Yeah, sounds good. I always enjoy the cameos. I think what's nice about chessboxing, the reason why I've stuck with it as well over, 3 or 4 years now, is because it's like a little community, isn't it? It's like when you're in the circus. I don't know if I can say it's like
chessboxing is like being in the circus.
But I've met a lot of circus people through my life. Yeah, as a performer.
Do they all play chess?
No, they don't play chess, but they have a certain relationship with it. They're like a family, and it does feel a bit like this. All the boxers are in it together. Everybody knows everyone. Everyone's worked together so many times on these shows that they've also got easier and easier as we've gone through, because we've got more used to working together as a team. And it does feel a bit like coming back home in some ways.
So we should talk briefly about the upcoming show. So like I said, we've got a bigger venue, 650 tickets. I think roughly half of them have gone already. Right. So if you want tickets, go to chessboxingnation.com. Also, the show's going to be streamed live as well, so you can watch it on YouTube if you can't make it. Can't get yourself down to London. Who are you looking forward to seeing fighting in the next show then?
Ooh, there's so many. Martin, I think. Martin New.
Martin, who fought in Norfolk last summer.
Yeah, so the last time that I saw him fight last summer, I remember meeting him in person. I think that was the first time I met him, and I thought, he's quite shy. How's he gonna do in this? And then it was like he was a completely different person when he got in the ring. He was really confident, really strong, a really good chess player and a good fighter, and was quite, it was that kind of element of surprise that I really enjoyed about that. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he's going to bring to the ring this time.
Yeah, he's a strong chess player. Strong chess boxer. He was only 19 last year. I'm not quite sure whether he'll be 20 or not in May. But he's fighting another young guy, Dan, from the Netherlands. So I think there'll be two fit guys in the ring. I think it should be quite a good show. I'm looking forward to seeing how they go on.
Yeah.
So Kate, one question I ask quite a lot of people on the podcast. I don't know if you prepared for this or not.
I haven't prepared anything for this one.
What is your favourite chocolate bar?
Oh no. Okay, is that Malteser bar?
There's a Malteser bar. I know what Malteser, like the little round ones that you can like blow on a tube.
I know, but it's not. It's like in a chocolate bar. It's like got the Malteser crystal broken up in it. Like,
really?
And they do little bunnies at Easter as well.
Okay.
I've had a few.
I imagine that'd be nice as perhaps an ice cream. You know, you get I really like the crunchy ice cream. So they've got a little bit of crunchy all in the ice cream.
I don't really like ice cream.
You don't like ice cream?
No. It's too cold.
It's too cold. What about melted ice cream? You just drink
then it's
like
just,
a milkshake.
Then it's too sticky and.
Okay, we heard it here first. Somebody who doesn't like ice cream.
The only person in the world.
Yeah. So we're going to have to draw things to a close in a minute. Okay, but I just wondered, do you want to talk a little bit about your public speaking and what you do and where people can find you and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, sure. So I, alongside the emceeing and chess boxing, I set up a company about 7 or 8 years ago. I've been doing this, teaching public speaking one-to-one and in groups as well. So often in corporate spaces, I do workshops to help corporate executives feel more comfortable and more confident.
Any big names that you've worked with that we might recognise?
I actually can't really say.
Oh, you're not
confidentiality.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I have worked with some.
I know you've worked with some big names.
Big people, yes.
Yeah.
People who've won awards on stages and things thanks to me. So so it's a great job, and it's kind of come from on the back of my acting career and then teaching, and then I've gone into it. I sort of fell into it, and then it just took off. So that's what I've been focusing on for the last 7 or 8 years.
And where can they find you?
They can find me online. I'm on LinkedIn, Kate Gilbert, public speaking coach and speaker. I'm also, my website is www.kategilbert.co.uk. And I'm on Instagram, kategilbert.talks.
Okay, fantastic. We'll put some links to the show notes. But yeah, so thank you for coming on the podcast. Thanks for coming in person. It's always better in person. And thank you for all the contribution you've made, not just the emceeing, but the performance workshops. I think it's fair to say that you've added to the enjoyment of not only the crowd but also obviously the fighters.
Yeah, I hope so. It's been a lot of fun for me to work with everyone as well.
And that's what it's all about. We want everyone to have a good time, and that's what we aim for in all of our events. So the next event coming up on the 1st of May, genuinely I think it's going to be an incredible show. We've got another Grandmaster fighting. We're hoping to announce, by the time this goes out, we'll have our 5th bout, which is going to be very high quality bouts, heavyweight bouts, a couple of good boxes with an ELO around 2,000. So go and get your tickets at chessboxingnation.com. And we'll see you all in May. Thank you very much, Kate. Looking forward to working with you on the 1st of May.
Yeah, looking forward to it. See you then.